It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by Surehold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, Surehold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Gear Show.
ShipShape, Florida's only boat improvement show, is being brought to you in part by Boatarama, the Robin Hood of the boating business, and by RPN Diesel Engine Company, so much more than an engine company, and by XL Coatings, Florida's powder coating leader.
Thanks so much for tuning into our boat improvement show called ShipShape. I'm your host, John Greviskis, and today I'm on location in Seminole Boat Yard, located on the Intercoastal Waterway in the PGA Bridge in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Now, this is one episode that will put you in stitches. We're talking marine upholstery for our project boat, the 1978 Stamas. Today we're going to be looking at the different fabrics, foams, and threads that are available for the job, as well as some innovative techniques on how to do your upholstery work. But we're not going to stop there. We're also going to show you how to care for those vinyls and fabrics, as well as how to reduce the dry rotting that goes on inside your plywood backings. Maybe you're working on a boat and there's something you come across that totally perplexes the mind. Don't blow a gasket. Write down the problem and send it to us.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
And who knows, maybe we'll use your suggestion for a topic for a show. If we do, we're going to thank you for that suggestion by sending you a 100% cotton ShipShape t-shirt, complete with a pocket. But right now we need to go to commercial break, but you'll want to stick around because when we come back, I'll introduce you to the Bushes out at Bush Canvas, our upholstery experts.
Don't sail away. ShipShape will be right back.
Don't neglect your non-skid fiberglass because it's too hard to wax. Waxing and protecting molded in non-skid has never been faster and easier thanks to Surehold's soft dual-action polisher brush head and pro polish. This winning combination will quickly seal and protect your textured fiberglass. Now every square inch of your boat can be detailed like a pro. Whether you are waxing non-skid, cleaning carpets, or scrubbing teak, Surehold has the perfect polisher brush head for every task. 3 brushes, 1 amazing polisher. Another answer from Surehold Industries' clean and simple solutions for detailing all your toys.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to introduce to you the owner of Bush Canvas, Jackie Bush. Jackie, thanks so much for having us out here today.
Glad you could come by.
Now, Jackie, we have a 1978 Stamas, and the interior is really, really outdated. That late 70s look is pretty awful. We want to bring the interior into the 90s, and we've got some cushions that need to be reupholstered. Can you tell us the different materials that are available to do the job?
Sure. Probably your best bet would be your vinyls. You can see comes in various colors. It's good for small boats because generally you're in and out. You have wet bathing suits, you're diving. It's waterproof, it's easy to keep clean.
Who are the different players?
Naugahides, you have Nautilex, you have Boltaflex, and then we use J&H Supply in Lake Worth. We use their white basically exclusively almost. It's a marine, as you can see here, marine expanded, mildew resistant, UV stabilized. So you want to make sure when you do cushions that you always have a mildew resistant cushion and a UV that's treated specifically for that, for boats.
Okay. Now you said expanded.
Expanded
What does that mean?
vinyl. Okay. Expanded vinyl has give to it,
Okay.
so that when you sit on it, it'll give, it'll be comfortable. When you get up, it comes back into shape and it looks nice and smooth again.
Okay.
You would not use a hard vinyl like this with no backing. There's no give to that at all.
So the expanded has a backing on it,
It has a
which
backing
allows
on
it
it, which
to,
allows
to
it
give.
to give,
So this
right.
is the stuff you want to use
That's
for
the
cushions.
stuff you want to use.
Are there any other choices in material, Jackie?
Yes. A lot of people are now starting to use the Sombrella fabrics for cushions, as well as tops and enclosures.
Now this is a fabric.
That is a fabric.
Okay.
It's an acrylic. It comes in all different colors, and there are patterns too. They also make a furniture fabric. This is Sombrella, but it's
This is a little different.
It's a little softer. You
Right.
can feel it's a little softer, and they have some different patterns on it.
Price-wise, what are we looking at for the Sombrella?
The Sombrella anywhere is between $13 and $18 a yard, and the
Okay.
vinyl start maybe like 12, and can go as high as $30 a yard.
Why so much of a difference?
Well, some of the more exotic, higher qualities, they make it look like suede, and they have all these fancy patterns and prints and stuff.
Okay,
and,
I've got you.
but you'd use the medium grades or the medium price for the boats.
Okay, let's talk probably foam. I mean, that's got to be a real consideration when we're talking upholstery. Tell us about the different foams that are available.
Well, my son Walter, who works the business with me, is the expert on foam.
What we have here, John, is polyfoam. This is a low-density polyfoam here, which is used on cushions where you really want it to be very soft. This is a medium grade, which is the most commonly used.
Yeah, this is much firmer.
And this is what we call an extra firm.
Wow.
This is if you really don't want to bottom out.
Okay.
Okay. We also have what's called dry fast or open cell foam and closed cell foam. These two are primarily used for exterior grade cushions where they're going to get wet a lot. The dry fast doesn't hold water, it doesn't soak up water, water will pass right through it.
Wow.
It's a very popular foam.
Now, this stuff you probably use a meshing or whatever on the bottom of the cushion. Is that
Yes.
what I'm looking at?
Yes, we do. We
This
use
stuff here?
what's called Fabricating. It's a very heavy screening. It's very tough stuff. You'll see it on like porch furniture and things like that. And it allows the water to pass right through it, and it keeps mildew problems down to a minimum.
Wow, that's great. Now, on the closed cell foam, this is the stuff that they actually make the PFDs out of.
Yeah, closed cell foam, although it's a little expensive, is very good foam. It acts as flotation. It has a pretty long lifespan. And, you know, if you're going to have it outside all the time, a lot of people like to go with the closed cell foam.
Because it will float, it won't sink.
Right.
If it blows overboard, you can turn around, pick it up.
Right, you might
all of
find it
that.
floating around the marina or something. It doesn't sink.
Okay, great. Let's look at the different threads that are
Okay.
available for the upholstery.
I have 3 types of thread here. We've got your regular polyester thread, which is the most commonly used. This comes in many different colors. We tend to use only black and white because a lot of the colors will fade somewhat and they won't match the material anymore.
Okay.
I also have what's called a Durabond thread, which is an anti-wicking thread, which is what Rose is using right
So
now.
moisture won't suck into that thread.
Right. You won't get it dripping through. It won't work its way into the cushion as easy.
Okay, good.
The last thread I want to show you is what they call Gore-Tex thread.
I've heard of this. This is like the Cadillac of threads, but it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's a little expensive, but Gore-Tex thread is guaranteed not to rot for the life of the material that it's put in.
Okay, super. Well, right now we need to go to commercial break, but stick around because when we come back, we're going to actually start fabricating some of our cushions.
Don't drift away. ShipShape will be right back.
Welcome back. Jackie, what's the first step involved in remanufacturing our cushions?
All right, first we have to determine the size of the cushion. This one is square, so we can just measure it and make the cushion from that. The next step would be to take the foam out. Now this one fortunately has a zipper, but unfortunately you can see that the slider is all corroded on that.
Okay.
So there's no way we're going to be able to use that. So we just take a knife and come along and just cut right along that zipper. And then we take the foam out. The worst part of cushions is stuffing and unstuffing, because foam does not slide. Tends to be very sticky.
Now, it looks like we got a little lucky here.
The foam isn't bad. The foam isn't bad. You can see that it's kind of rounded here, and your new cushion's going to be square. So what we want to do is we can try it and see how it looks. And if we have to, then we'll cut a new piece of foam for it, because it might not fill out that edge.
Now, when you're dealing with cushions that aren't square, we need to do something a little bit different. This is the back to one of our chairs on the boat, and we need to turn the material inside out to where we can use a tool called a snip. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut the seams to where we'll have a template to where we can lay that out on our new material. Now, this takes a little bit of time, but basically all you need to do is be a little patient and go through the seam and actually rip all of the threads.
Okay, John, getting back to the square cushion, we now have it inside out so we can double check our measurements. Lots of times the bottom and the top will either shrink or expand at different rates, and you'll have two different sizes. So we always like to double check it.
Now it's time to lay out the material. And basically we need to take into consideration not only the facing, which are the large areas of your cushion, but also the sides, which are called the gusset. What we're looking to do is we want to utilize as much of the material as possible without having a whole lot of waste. Once the material's laid out, we can go ahead and begin cutting. Now, this is going to take some time because we have quite a few pieces involved in this reupholstery job.
Now that we've got all the pieces of material cut, we've measured to see how much cording or welting goes around the outside. In this case, on the white cushion, we're putting blue piping that goes around the outside of the cushion. We'll need about 600 inches of it. This is 1 1/4 inches, and it's joined together to make one continuous long line. We take what we call a foam core, and we put that in to give it the roundness. There's a special foot on the machine that holds it in place as it goes through. Now, this is going to take a long time because we have, like I say, 600 inches. So we'll get this done, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, with all the welting cut, now we can start sewing it on the tops of our cushions. I have started this so you get a basic idea what it's going to look like. You always have to snip it around the corners so that it goes around freely.
Now, with the zipper in place, we can go ahead and attach the gusset to our face. Now, Jackie, is there anything special that we have to do here, like fold the material?
No, all we have to do is we want to make sure our zipper's just inside the corner, and then we're going to start sewing it over at this end.
With our cushion completely put together, it's time to bring it right side out so we can begin the stuffing process. Now, Ed here at Bush Canvas is a master stuffer. This really, I'm not being funny, it's very tricky. There's a lot to stuffing cushions, and it takes quite a while. But we can get Ed started on that. But this is what a finished cushion is going to look like when it's completely done. As you can see, the people out here at Bush Canvas do a great job. Walter, real quick, how do we care for our marine vinyls?
Well, the best thing you can do is to keep them out of the weather. Take them in at night when you're not using them. Keep them inside the boat or in some dry storage. It's good to keep them clean. It's okay to spot clean them with bleach, but always remember bleach will harm your threads.
Okay.
That's very important. A lot of manufacturers don't use stainless when they make their cushions.
Now, this is actually an armchair that's come off of one of my fighting chairs.
That's right.
And because they didn't use a stainless T-nut, you see what it's done.
Right, and the staples will do the same. And by keeping them out of the weather, it'll make a big difference. When you do have your stuff remade, always remember to request stainless. We use stainless T-nuts and stainless or Monel staples. We also tend to coat our wood with a primer. This hasn't been coated yet, but we put a primer on it to save the wood from the rot that you see here.
Excellent point.
A lot of times you'll have a cushion that seems good and you'll bring it into the shop, like this one here. If you feel it, it feels like it's all good wood,
Yep.
but you take it apart and you'll find that it's
Wow.
all starting to rot out.
Because they didn't treat the wood originally.
That's right.
Walter, thanks for all the tips. Thanks for having us out here today.
Thanks
and
for having
we
us.
really appreciate the quality work that you guys do.
Chapman's Corner is being brought to you in part by Captain Z's Fly Fishing School and Charter Service. Your adventure in light tackle fishing for the Space Coast.
Today on Chapman's Corner, we want to show you the procedures for starting up a gas-powered inboard engine. First thing I've done is I've checked my lubricants, I've checked my crankcase oil, I've checked my power steering fluid, I've checked my belts, I've looked at my bilge, no water in my bilge, and I've sniffed for gas. Don't smell any gas fumes. Next thing I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to turn on my blower switch. And I want to let that run for approximately 3 to 5 minutes to make sure if there's any gas fumes that are in the lower part of the bilge that they'll be evacuated. Once I've done that, I'm going to come over to my throttle clutch, and by pushing this button in here, I'm going to separate the throttle from the clutch, and I'm going to give it 2 primes. Not too much because you don't want to flood the carburetor out. And that should be sufficient to start my engine. Here we go. I'm going to turn my ignition key on. And there we go. It's as simple as that. The important thing is thinking gas. Gasoline vapors are dangerous, so you want to make sure you give plenty of ventilation time. From Chapman School of Seamanship, this is Tom Domping.
Today we're going to find out about the Bayliner story, and I can't think of a better person to tell us that story than Carlos Ruiz of Boatarama. Carlos, thanks for seeing us.
How you doing, John?
I'm doing well. Now today we're going to take a look at the Capri 2250. Can you tell us about this boat, and can you tell us about Bayliner?
I can tell you a little bit about this beautiful boat. This is our 2250 Super Sport model. Super Sport, we make it red and white. Nice color.
Very nice.
On this boat, I have a 300 horsepower engine on it. I have a Mercruiser 7.4 with a Bravo 3 dual prop engine.
How fast is this boat going to go?
Over 60.
Oh my goodness, that is fast. When you're talking about putting out that kind of speed and you're talking about red, you're going to attract some attention.
Yes, yeah. That's one of the main reasons that we do it like that.
To get the boat. Let's talk about some of the different amenities that come with this boat, Carlos.
Okay, this boat is a very sporty boat. You have your 2 captain chairs at front. You have your nice sun deck in the back. You have your red carpet. You have AM/FM cassette, bow cover. I mean, comes fully loaded.
This is like running a little Porsche out on the water.
You just said it, yes.
Exactly. But now, we're talking about Bayliner, and we're talking about quality. You know, Bayliner puts out more boats than all the other manufacturers put together, and there's a real reason for that. You see, Bayliner puts people in bigger boats because they give more value.
John, really, they get more boat for their money.
Exactly.
Okay, what it is we're the largest boat manufacturer in the world. We're owned by Brunswick. Brunswick is the 8th oldest corporation in the United States.
They're huge. Brunswick owns Mercruiser, they own Mercury, they own Sea Ray, they own Bayliner. It's huge, that company, and you're getting that kind of a corporation behind you, that kind of a corporation backing this boat up, and I think that's real key. But, you know, when you're looking at this Porsche out on the water, there's probably a price tag that comes with it. Let's talk about price.
Well, all the Porsche look like it and all that, I agree with you. The only thing I'm not going to agree is on the price.
Okay, let's talk price.
John, this boat is under $30,000.
You gotta be kidding me. With that kind of horsepower, with that kind of performance, under $30,000?
Under $30,000.
Now let's talk about financing. I know you can't give specifics, but let's talk ballpark monthly figures. What are we looking at with this boat?
On this boat, you're talking like $300 a month.
You gotta be kidding me. You can't get a decent car for under 300 bucks. You're gonna be putting a boat like this, a Porsche, out on the water. This is fantastic. Let's talk about Boatarama. You guys are the big boat dealer, the big boat show with no admission price. You've got 72,000 square feet of air-conditioned comfort. And you let people come in, you let people touch these boats, get on these boats, get into boating at an affordable price, and my hat's off to you. Let's talk about how we get to a Boatarama location near you.
Let me say a little bit, John. We've been in business for 40 years, so we're doing something right.
You're doing something right.
We have 3 stores. Our main store is in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
441 between Griffin and 84.
Okay.
My Miami store is in Biscayne and 135th Street, right on the water.
So if you're taking 95, you're gonna head to 135th, head east towards the water, and right on the water, you're there.
That's right. That's
now you have
Boatarama.
another store in Pompano.
Right. We have a store in Pompano, Federal, and Copens.
Carlos.
3 locations, simple and nice.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you, John. Have a good one.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ship shape means trouble-free. Ship shape means being neater. Ship shape makes boat work easier. Ship shape is the way to go. The Ship Shape Boat